Before we get started on today's show, tell you the podcast brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Head on over, get some ribs, get a lunch special, $4.99, 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drink. Today, for this Monday, that lunch special is chicken spaghetti, so take advantage of that and many other items there at the Oxford Exxon. Go next door to the Oxford Crystal. Plenty of combos, or breakfast, plenty for lunch. Open 24 hours a day next door there on Highway 6 West. And we're coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio, 662-257-1900, Highway 25 South there in Amory. Give Corey Clark a call. When you do, you know that you'll get a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. You can shop it around. You can take it. You probably will because it's going to be the best deal. And when you're finishing up the paperwork, tell them about the podcast. This podcast, any of the MPW Digital family of podcasts, $500 more off that deal from Clark Ford. Now on to the show.
From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MPW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something that you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
And broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Welcome to this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. Obviously, a lot of basketball talk today. Saw the tweet, maybe it was Dylan, maybe Ole Miss's best regular season week in a long time, maybe in the program history. 2 top 15 wins. We've talked about Auburn, and they go to Starkville on Saturday, get another statement victory, beating Mississippi State 81-77 at Humphrey Coliseum. Showed a lot of toughness. Kept their composure for the most part despite all the technical fouls. You could tell that everybody in the building in red and blue kind of wanted that one, and they're going to wake up today, or not wake up, but at some point today they're going to be in the AP Top 25, I would assume, looking at just some rankings and stuff that came out yesterday. Gary Parrish had them 26th after the Auburn win, moved them all the way up to 14th yesterday in his poll, and then the Athletic in their Top 25, Seth Davis running that up to 16. So at least since Marshall Henderson, and maybe much, much larger than that, Ole Miss a bit of a story nationally now as they move to 3-0 in the SEC and have a huge one tomorrow night at home against LSU.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to. I suspect the Athletic is probably pretty close as to where they'll pop in the poll today.
I mean, you think they're about to go from unranked to halfway through this son of a gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think. And look, wherever they come in today, and I can't tell people how to think and believe. I've got people on a message board genuinely concerned about Kermit Davis leaving for Mississippi State. One person genuinely believing me about Kermit Davis leaving for the NBA. It's all a joke. We're joking. I mean, if they come in at 21 and you get worked up, that's on you. Because it doesn't matter. You're getting attention, your program's winning, and people are recognizing
Getting
you.
a lot of attention. Gary Parrish has spent a lot of time on Ole Miss this week.
Look, Gary's more than fair. If you suck, Gary says you suck. If you're good, Gary says you're good. I mean, simple as that. People go, well, he's a Memphis guy, whatever. Well, he does radio in Memphis. He does talk about Memphis a lot because he gets paid to talk about Memphis. But his CBS gig, he takes it pretty damn seriously. He sees a lot of basketball. So he's got him at 14. There will be others that are old school voters that will put him down at the bottom and make them work their way up, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. Here's the one that matters, 24.
Net.
They're 24 in net. That matters.
The NCAA evaluation tool.
You want to get worked up about a ranking? That's the ranking to get worked up about.
You know, I do kind of give the NCAA credit. When we had a college football playoff, they called it the college football playoff. When we have a new evaluation tool, we call it the NCAA evaluation tool. There is not PR dollars being spent on their names and abbreviations and acronyms these days.
If they ever open a steakhouse, they'll call it Steakhouse.
Yes.
So, you know, if you want to get worked up about a number, there's your number. That's the number to follow. That's the number to get worked up over.
That son of a gun went from 46 to 24 in 8 days.
Yeah, the computers don't care what name's on the jersey. Not even a little. So you're going to get in the AP poll today. You should be excited. It's a cool thing.
First time since 2013, I believe.
It's the first time in almost 6 years.
Yeah, that's right. February of 13.
So it's a hell of an accomplishment. It's a really cool story. It doesn't matter.
It allows them to call a bunch of recruits today and go, hey, got a poll here? I'll help you out.
Yeah, sure.
Click the link.
Sure.
See that?
See, we're getting national recognition.
And that's without guys like you. That's without you.
Right.
Your kind of players.
Right.
That's with these dudes that went 12-20 or whatever last year.
Exactly. So that's where that is. I expect somewhere around 18 was my guess. But it's a bunch of different people voting, and different people have different voting standards, and most of the people who are voting haven't seen all of the teams that they're ranking. It's a very hard thing to do. It's easy for someone to sit at home and go, well, I would do better. Well, here's the thing. When you're covering one team, and most of the people who are covering one team, like for me, for example, I left Oxford at 8:30 on Saturday morning. I drove to Starkville. I got to the game, got set up, all that stuff. Covered a game from noon until 2, did post game until 3, wrote until about 4:20, and then drove home and got home at about 6:30. By the time I actually pulled into the driveway and got my bags out of the car. So what all the games did I see on Saturday? None. I saw Ole Miss. I saw Mississippi State.
You saw scores. That was
I saw the end of LSU Arkansas, and then I saw the Spurs and the Thunder, and both the Spurs and the Thunder would beat all the other teams that I saw. So it's a joke. There's no way I could do a better job than anybody else. And I would take it pretty seriously because I always did when I was a voter. Being a basketball voter is really hard. There's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of games. And if you're covering a team, it's close to impossible. So don't take it overly seriously. Take the net seriously. And that's where you're jumping.
Yeah.
And that's where if you're an Ole Miss fan, you should get excited because now you've picked up a bunch of Quadrant 1 wins. You've got the team right behind you, at least as of yesterday. It might have changed.
No, that's where I was going next. LSU is sitting at 25 in the net right now.
LSU's 25 in the net. Ole Miss is 24. They play each other tomorrow night. You might guess that both schools probably look at this game and go, this is a big one. And it is. LSU's really good. That point guard's a stud, just an absolute stud.
They went to Fayetteville and won on Saturday. They are another
overtime.
Undefeated team. We'll get to this in a minute. But
they won in overtime in Starkville, in Fayetteville. A game that Arkansas is going to really wish it had back.
Yeah, looking at the SEC quickly, we'll do a lot of this on Mondays as long as it is relevant. I got a feeling it's going to be relevant for a while. Tennessee is 3-0. That's not a surprise at all. They're 13-1 overall. They're a national title contender. They're number 5 in the net.
I did see some of
They
Tennessee,
got challenged
Florida.
on Saturday.
Yeah, I turned it on just for a few minutes because I wanted to watch the Thunder and the Spurs. But I turned it on for just a minute. And the Gators were playing well, and they just couldn't put them away. Tennessee is so, so good.
Ole Miss and South Carolina, they were picked 13th and 14th in the SEC. They're both 3-0 right now. Ole Miss is better than Carolina, but you got to give Frank Martin a lot of credit. He's a heck of a coach and has done a good job there. In the SEC slate, LSU, the other undefeated team, they're at 2-0 as they have played twice to this point. Kentucky's 2-1. Remember, there are no divisions in the SEC. Everybody's in one spot. And then Auburn 1-1. They corrected themselves a little bit with a blowout win over Georgia on Saturday. Alabama 1-2. Arkansas 1-2. Florida 1-2. Georgia 1-2. A&M 1-2, and probably should be 0-3. State 0-2. Missouri 0-2, and then the Vanderbilt Commodores really scuffling at 0-3 as well.
Yeah. There's no easy out.
Vanderbilt's still sitting at 71 in the net. Start to kind of looking at that a little bit, but they're at 71 right now.
Yeah, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you really
need them to win a game or two.
You want the Commodores to put it together.
State's at 34 right now, but that one's going to be safe no matter what in a Quadrant 1. They're not falling out of the top 75.
They're really good.
Auburn is going to be safe. They're at 17 in the net, and I think they're going to figure it out and be just dandy by the end of it.
Yeah, they're a title contender. Kind of a
think
team.
they're that good.
Yeah, they've got everything you could want. Frankly, I was more impressed with Mississippi State, the basketball team. State appears to have, and we can talk about it as we go. They appear to have a little internal thing.
You thought it was odd who they brought to the press conference on Saturday.
Thought it was stunningly odd
because the Woodward kid played 1 minute in the second half. Yeah, right.
Played well.
That's the kid from Columbus, right?
If you say so.
I think so. Yeah.
The other
Dad
kid
played at State or something. Okay, fair enough.
For those who don't have ESPN 19 at home, I just
he looked at me very quizzically.
Dude, I don't know. The other freshman whose name escapes me right now, he played really well. I could understand why he was there.
Carolina at 153 in the net still, by the way. Yeah.
Well, they had some bad losses. So I overcome the bad losses. Bad losses haunt you.
They're the only team outside the 100 right now in the net. A&M's at 81. That's the next worst. So Arkansas's at 76.
Well, Arkansas's played a really good schedule. They've played good teams. They will rue. They will absolutely rue Saturday night.
What happened? Just losing that one.
Had an opportunity to win it. Needed to win it. 2 home games last week. Lost them both. That's just not what you do.
I mean, every game. I mean, you can't take anything for granted right now in this league at all.
No, there's no gimme. A&M goes to Alabama and wins.
Ole Miss at 30 in the Ken Palm right now, something that does not matter, but I do like his predictions. The reason I'm over there. We'll probably do this most Mondays, too, and talk about a bit of a meteoric rise as this thing has changed for Ole Miss as they've started 3-0 in the league. We were talking when it was 9-9, 8-10 early, and said, "Hey, you got to steal one." You're kind of in that NIT discussion. He likes their chances a whole lot more now. He has Ole Miss. His computers have Ole Miss projected at 23-8 overall, 12-6 in the SEC at this point.
There'd be no suspense in Nashville if that was.
No, you could lose the first one. You can lose one because that'd be a double bye too. You wouldn't even play till Friday.
Probably wouldn't play till Friday, but if you did play Thursday, you'd play one of the.
And who cares?
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. He could do whatever he wanted. They are giving Ole Miss a 67% chance to win against LSU on tomorrow night. 67.
Wow.
And they are giving Ole Miss a 75% chance to win Saturday against Arkansas.
Yeah, I can see that one a little bit more.
The games right now that they have them an underdog in metrically, at Florida, 35%.
Okay.
Auburn on the road, 28%.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. That's probably going to be an L.
Tennessee at home, 34%.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, now look, again, 12-6 does not equal 15-3 because he knows they're going to lose some of these other coin flip games.
Sure.
But, I mean, run through it real quick. I mean, we're not doing anything else. LSU at 67, Arkansas at 75, Alabama away 55%. Iowa State at home, now that's 55%. That was about 42% a week ago, something like that.
Okay.
Mississippi State at home, 61%.
Okay.
A&M at home, 82%.
Okay.
Georgia away, 62%.
Yeah.
I mentioned Auburn. Missouri at home, 82%.
They're not good.
South Carolina away, 66%.
Really?
Yep. Georgia at home, 83%.
Yeah.
Tennessee at home, 34%. Mention that. Arkansas away, 52%.
It's about right.
Kentucky at home, 54%.
So he's got some coin tosses.
Yeah. And
Bama, UK.
And then Missouri away, 61%.
Look, here's. So I've had people say, "What does this week mean?" Here's what this week means.
It's a consolidate. It's the week to consolidate.
You're 3-0. You've stolen 2 games on the road, and when I say stolen, any game you win on the road is a steal. You
broke serve.
Yes. So it's not an insult. I've had a lot of people very sensitive about I got a lot of negative feedback on my column Saturday.
Because of what?
I don't know. They said it was negative. And I'm like, I wrote that they just got real. What do you mean? I don't get it. Anyway, regardless. You got to win one. You got to get one of the 2 this week.
No doubt about that.
If you come out of this at 4-1, you're in great shape.
All good.
If you lose 2, you just gave away the 2 road wins. If you win them both, your season completely changes. You now go from this conversation about, and I get Ole Miss doesn't make the tournament often. I'm not making fun of fans. The breathless, what do we have to do to get in? What do we have to do to get in? Well, that no longer is the conversation. Now, just getting in would almost be a disappointment. At 5-0, now the conversation is, what do we have to do to get a top 4 seed? That's the conversation.
Yeah, at 5-0, it becomes double bye in the SEC tournament, and then just to get out of that mix and go, hey, we're in no matter what. And then B, like you said, it's, hey, not only wear a home jersey, but how do we get a little draw here? How do we start pivoting toward trying to get out of the first weekend at this point?
Yeah, how do you get where you're wearing a home jersey until the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
That's where the conversation goes, if you win too. Now, look, LSU's good. Flat out good.
Yeah.
Ole Miss could lose on Tuesday night. Absolutely. It is going to be a game. If you like guard play, tomorrow night is for you. You should go to the Pavilion, and you should watch guards.
Ken Palm has LSU 21-10, 11-7 in the SEC for the season.
Yeah, if you like guard play, go tomorrow night. If you're the guy that's in Dubuque and you can't make it to the game and you're like, what should I watch? This would be one to watch because you're going to get really good guard play.
It's going to be a tough ticket. It's already a tough ticket.
Well, it should be. I mean, look, the guy's done. The guy's done. Kermit Davis has done an amazing job. He has taken a group of kids. Look, Andy didn't leave the cupboard bare. Andy left him 3 really good guards. And left him a couple of big men who are different talent levels. But he left him 3 really good guards. He's gotten those kids to believe. He's gotten those kids to completely buy in. The coaching staff deserves a ton of credit for the job they've done with Devontae Shuler as a point guard, with the job that they have done with Dominic Olenichik as a defender. They brought in 2 very talented freshmen, KJ Buff and Blake Henson. Henson was just phenomenal on Saturday. They have figured out a way to get minutes from kids like DC Davis. Not really getting anything out of Luis Rodriguez in SEC play. I think through 3 games he's played maybe 1 SEC minute. They're not really getting anything out of Zach Naylor. They're not really getting anything out of Brian Hallams. The people who are concerned, like, what should I worry about? I need something to worry about. It's simple. You can't afford an injury. This team is thin, man. Like when Tyree went down the other day and was holding his shoulder, and I thought maybe he separated that thing because you couldn't tell. They can't afford that kind of an injury. That's where this season could go bad. There's no room for someone suffering a severe ankle sprain and missing a month. They don't have that kind of depth.
We'll get into the game Saturday a little bit in a second. First, tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Settle County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting. It understands your market, a leader in condo financing, and the float-down option, which allows you to lock in the current rate. But if rates go down before you close, you get the lower rate. 662-234-2704 or JLOW, JLOWE, at communitymtg.com.
Podcast also brought to you by Harry Alexander. Harry is the sponsor of my 10 Weekend Thoughts. They're up on the site, as they always are on Sunday night. They won't be there next Sunday night, but we'll resume after that. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. He's been in Oxford 45 years or so. No one knows the residential and condo market in Oxford better than he does. Go to his site. He'll prove it to you. It's harryalexander.com. Click on the Properties and Neighborhoods tab, filter through about what you're looking for, and then send him an email. It's ha@harryalexander.com. Guest will join us this week on the Patterson and Earhart hotline. Patterson and Earhart, attorneys at law, specialize in personal injury law and real estate law, but theirs is a general practice that can handle any of your legal needs. If you contact Patterson and Earhart, you're going to speak to one of the partners in the firm. They'll handle your case, not some paralegal at a faceless corporate firm. If Patterson and Earhart can't help you, and this is important, if they can't help you, they'll refer you to someone who can. It's worth the call. John Patterson and Wes Earhart are Ole Miss guys. They're local guys. When you call them, you're going to get one of them on the phone within the same day, guaranteed. So whether you've been injured in a car wreck or have other legal issues, give them a call, 662-526-1992, or check out their website, pelaws.com. Your initial consultation is free. Home to Suites Oxford is now open. They're ready to accommodate you in 2019. If you come into Oxford this week to watch Rebel Hoops at the Pavilion, Home to Suites is a great place to stay. It's conveniently located 1 mile from campus. It's just off the old Taylor Road exit. The Pop-Up Oxford's coming up really soon. They offer a 20% discounted rate the entire week of Pop-Up Oxford. You have to call the front desk at Home 2 Suites to receive the discount when booking. It's a pet-friendly hotel. You can bring your four-legged friends. They have a designated area for walks, complete with a pet station for your convenience. So be sure to follow them on social media. The big announcement is coming soon. Home 2 Suites Oxford. Great place to stay when football season rolls around. Football weekend reservations are going to open soon, so you need to be following them on Twitter and Instagram so that you don't miss it.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy. Don't waste your time with the big chains. Go somewhere you're appreciated. G&M, locally owned and operated, and they care about their customers. Been Oxford's trusted hometown pharmacy for 40 years. Offer many great services such as MedSync, immunizations, free delivery to your home or workplace. They're right there on South Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. And transferring your medications is simple. Give them a call at 662-236-2222, and they will take care of the rest. Relevant to what Ole Miss has done to this point, definitely. Just give a quick look at the latest bracketology. Again, look, 15 conference games to go, but nonetheless, it makes for pretty good podcast fodder. This one from Jerry Palm today. It was updated at 6:22 a.m. this morning. Kind of run through from the top. Cincinnati only in the first four, by the way. Has Cincinnati playing Texas in the first four out west. I don't know who the winner would play. Somebody that I'm not sure at this point. The winner would play. It doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, who gives a crap? Okay. In the South, let's see. Any SEC teams?
No, let's break this bracket
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, this is not a bracket. Who gives a crap? All right.
We got 2 months to figure these games out. Let's figure out who's playing. Here we go.
Has Iowa State as an 8 seed,
okay.
Future opponent there. That does that is semi-relevant, sort of, kind of in a weird way. In the East region, it has Mississippi State as a 9 seed playing Purdue in the first round. The winner of that would get the Virginia Cavaliers, just if you're curious.
Assuming they won the 116 game.
That is correct, yes, right. As long as they beat Sam Houston, who is the 16 seed there. And then in the bracket with the Rebels, out west, Jerry Palm, as you mentioned, has Ole Miss wearing a white jersey through 2 rounds. Has Ole Miss a 4 seed playing Georgia State, playing the Panthers in the first round, and then the winner would get Louisville or Wofford in the second round.
Where are those games being played? So I can go ahead and book my flight.
That game is in Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut, out west. Makes sense.
Does this crap? How do you do that? The West bracket sub-regions or whatever are Jacksonville, Hartford, Salt Lake, and San Jose.
All right, so let's look at potential trips for McCready here because that's what this thing sometimes comes down to. Where are my options?
All right, Jacksonville,
that
Hartford.
Would suck. I hate that place.
Jacksonville, Hartford.
I don't know anything about Hartford much.
San Jose, Salt Lake.
San Jose's okay. Salt Lake would be interesting.
Tulsa.
Okay, I have family there.
Des Moines.
I would love to go to Des Moines.
Would you really?
I've never been. I talk about Iowa a lot. I'd have a week in Iowa. How exciting would that be?
Columbus, Ohio.
No thanks.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Really? They get a regional?
I'm reading from the
wow
thing, yes.
Kudos to them.
That's it. Those are your options.
Those are the 8 places?
Columbus, Tulsa, Jacksonville, Des Moines, Hartford, San Jose, Salt Lake, and somewhere else. Yeah, those are the 8.
How about that?
That's them. And then if you got to regions, of course, those are in. Is this even on my bracket? I don't know. I'm not sure they put the regions on the bracket. Frankly, they did not. So I don't know. They have Alabama the one in the first 4 out. Arkansas in the first 4 out right now.
So he's got how many SEC teams in? Can you tell? Did he break it down by conference?
He does not break it down by conference.
I'm guessing 6 in.
I mean, I can quickly go through them, I think.
Tennessee's in. He's got Tennessee, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn. I would assume Florida. That's 6.
LSU's in.
LSU's in. So 7. Yeah. I mean, the league is 7 to 8 bids. Man,
Florida's not in.
Florida's not in.
Nope.
Wow. Be a rough off.
Sorry, I got them here. I've got the things. Yeah, first round games are in Hartford, Salt Lake, Des Moines, Jacksonville, San Jose, Columbia, Columbus, and Tulsa.
Okay.
Sweet 16 games are in Louisville, Anaheim, D.C., and Kansas City.
As long as it's not Louisville, that's not a bad setup. Anaheim's cool.
Sure, Louisville. Louisville's not bad.
Louisville's okay.
Louisville's fine. It's drivable and a pretty neat town. I have no problem with Louisville.
That's true. You could drive to Louisville.
6 hours.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Anaheim, D.C., and Kansas City.
You could drive to Kansas City.
Yeah, 2 drivables.
You could technically drive to D.C. You would hate yourself by the time you got there.
You're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then the Final Four is in Minneapolis.
Yeah. I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
They are a 4 seed. It only takes you play Duke in the next round, and then if you're going to play a 1 seed, you want to play Duke. They get a little weird at times in these tournaments.
They do.
They either win the whole thing or they lose in the Sweet 16 or whatever.
Right
That's
now,
what
if the NBA draft were conducted today, the first 3 players taken in the draft would be Duke players.
Well,
the
really?
First 3.
Really?
Yes.
I see a lot of highlights for that Zion Williamson kid.
He's phenomenal.
He's very athletic.
You will see NBA teams doing their very damnedest to tank down the stretch to give themselves one more ping pong ball.
Are you a fan of the ping pong ball system?
Not particularly.
No, it
but
kind of drives me insane.
If I'm running an NBA team and we can't make the playoffs, we are losing right now.
You're not doing the 8-8 NFL thing in the NBA.
Oh, hell no. I'm calling my coach and going, so listen.
You're going to pick 15th or whatever.
I'd like to lose as many games as is humanly possible in the second half of this NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare go sneak up on somebody and win a second game of a back-to-back. You know that 30-year-old guard that's right now playing for a contract? We're about to trade him, get him off the floor.
Don't need him scoring 48 and beating somebody in a night. All right, so let's talk about Saturday a little bit. I tell you, I was a little bored. I said, I'm gonna go to downtown. I'm gonna watch the game somewhere. For basketball, it was the most excited I've just kind of seen the area in a long time. No matter where you went in, there was people that were all watching the game, very, very into it, very engaged with Ole Miss basketball on Saturday. It was coming a flood outside. It was raining all day. Still, the bars pretty packed, pretty busy on Saturday. And again, I'm just kind of watching on TV, but the energy, the toughness, ball movement. If anybody got kind of rattled down the stretch, frankly, it's Mississippi State. And then I know nothing about basketball, but I did find funny that Bruce hits those threes, gets the tech on one of them, so immediately kind of erases it. But nonetheless, tell me if I'm wrong here. I told somebody this, and I think I'm right. As much as people don't want him shooting, it appeared that decisive layup there at the end was because of Bruce shooting, because the guy had to come out and kind of get him at the top of the key. And when he did that, it opened up the lane in for the layup right there in the final minute or so.
Absolutely. He'd made a couple.
Yeah.
And that made them defend it. And when they defended it, what
Tyree or Schuler, I don't remember.
It was Brian. What Brian saw was the guy defending him was kind of doing what you do when you're playing defense. You're wanting to know where the screen is coming.
Uh-huh.
Because they were probably playing a defense where his assignment was to go over the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So he needed to know where the screen was coming. And, God, if this were football, people would be losing their mind over what I'm about to say. You have to have real eye discipline in those moments. And give Brian credit, he noticed a quick lapse in eye discipline. Basically, in basketball terms, the defender cheated a little. You know what I mean? He just kind of looked. Where's it coming from? And when he divided his attention for just a split second, Brian took off and beat him to the goal, got the layup, and then State had a couple opportunities. And this is where I thought State lost its composure, really for maybe the first time in the game. You're only down 2, and you got, 40-something seconds left, so you have time. And they jacked a 27, 28-footer. I think it was it Weatherspoon or was it Peters?
I thought it was Weatherspoon.
I think it was Weatherspoon.
Yeah.
Who had gotten frustrated in that game. And they drew up a play for him. Howland said it was for him to drive, but he jacked up what had to be a 27, 28-foot shot.
Ole Miss perfectly fine with him jacking that one up.
Yeah, missed it. Schuler got the rebound. They fouled Schuler. I had tweeted earlier, hey, something to keep an eye on. I was kind of proud of myself because I nailed it. Something to keep an eye on with the fouls was that while State was in the double bonus, Ole Miss was just in the bonus, and they were going to have some front ends and one-on-ones that were going to be a factor. And Devontae went to the line and missed the front end. And so State had another opportunity, and this time Peters missed what was a decent shot. It was well contested. It was kind of elbow extended. Missed it. Ado, is that he says Ado?
Yeah, I don't know.
Abdul Ado is a good big man, good player. Kind of came down with the rebound, sorta, but Ole Miss had him really well defended, and he put the ball on the court for a second, dribbled, trying to, I don't know why, I guess to kind of set himself, and when he did, he kind of dribbled it off.
I mean the I don't know if it's an experience. I know nothing about the guy, but most big men there don't have to reposition. They just go back up with the ball right there.
But I don't think he really was in a place where he could have gone right back up. I thought they had him well defended in that spot, and so probably what he should have done in that moment was get it back out.
Yeah.
And let's take
you don't want him going to the floor with it is the point.
Yeah, but he committed the turnover. Ole Miss got the ball into Tyree. He got fouled, made the buckets, made the free throws, ball game. I thought the game itself. And I keep saying this about this Ole Miss team, and it's kind of fascinating. For a team that a year ago was so fragile, and I mean, man, oh man, that was a fragile team. Like, the minute something went wrong, well, that's it. That's it. You know those people in life that, like, when things were going good for them, they're like, man, something bad's about to happen. I know it. I'm going to wrap myself in bubble wrap now because there's no way this good streak lasts. They were that way. As soon as something bad happened, they just collapsed. This year, the exact same kids, and this is a credit to Kermit, his staff. It's a credit to everybody over there. It's a credit to the kids, too. They just don't get panicky. State got them down 10. There was a period, I asked Kermit about it in the post games. You can hear that press conference is up at rebelgrove.com. There was a period late, about 6 minutes to go in the first half. Ole Miss was down 10. Terrence Davis had picked up his third foul. Buffin really was having a hard time kind of composing himself. Henson was real emotional. They weren't playing particularly well. The crowd was getting into it. Give the State student section a lot of credit. It's loud. Ole Miss was borderline rattled, and I thought, this is about to get away. Nope. Pull within 2 at the half.
And then in the second half, they're down to 8 or 9 right there. And again, you think, okay, they've really played well, but here it is. Here's that moment.
If there's a trouble mark for this basketball team, it is 3 times now to open the second half. The other team has come out of the halftime with more intensity and more focus. 3 in a row. State built a 9-point lead pretty quickly in the second half, and you're like, well, here it goes. And their crowd's just waiting to go. They come back, make a bucket. Get a stop, make a bucket. Now it's a 3-point game. It's a 4-point game, 3-point game, and then boom, boom, and they take the lead. And that's what's impressive about this team is that there's just no moment where it feels like it's too big for them. Kermit talked about after the game, they went to Butler the second game of the season. It was the night before Ole Miss played Vanderbilt in football, so it was a long time ago. And, they went to Butler, and maybe the moment did get too big. Ole Miss had a 5-point lead and couldn't hold on to it, and Butler won the game in a kind of a rowdy environment. Since then, they've not been a hostage to the moment. They've kind of embraced the moment. They've got 3 or 4 kids. Schuler, I don't think, notices the moment. He's ice water. Tyree likes it. Henson loves it. Y'all want to have a favorite player down the road, go ahead and get your number 0 jersey. That kid's got, some people noticed on the message board, they're right. He's got, and when I say Dennis Rodman, people think flamboyant, crazy with the hair and the earrings and all the stuff. No. Go back. Remember young Dennis Rodman with the Pistons. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I know what you're referring to, yes.
Scrappy. Plays really hard, gets big man rebounds, big boy rebounds.
Pre-hair dye Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. pre-freak show Dennis Rodman. And the difference is Henson can shoot. He's got a big-time shot. He can drive, and he gets under opponents' skin a little bit. And I don't think it's because he does anything wrong. I think it's because maybe he's smiling out there. He's having fun. I think he said it after the game. He goes, basketball's fun. I love to play basketball. The bigger the game, the more fun it is. And they have a really good personality. And I think when you have a kid like Terrence Davis as your senior leader, who's an emotional, positive, happy kid, this team likes each other. They respect each other. Give Kermit a ton of credit, because I tweeted at one point in the first half and got a lot of likes on that damn tweet that I don't know how you justify keeping Stevens in the game. And yet he kept him in the game. And not only did they keep him in the game, they ran a couple of plays for him in that pick and pop. And finally he made a couple of those shots. And if that starts to fall, this team's got a different dimension to it.
Really the prima donna, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
prima donna.
Hyphen.
Yes.
The artist Madonna.
Yes.
Right.
Also prima donna. So.
Yeah, and a prima donna.
Yeah. This would really confuse a lot of people, or one in particular.
He looks good on the hoof, too. He really does. He looks great on the hoof.
Good rebounder. And got some hops.
He can dance.
Rodman probably can dance.
Oh, Rodman can dance. I bet Henson can dance.
Yeah, Henson and Buffin, now look, I'm not saying they necessarily kept their composure, but they weren't scared on the road on Saturday. There was not fear.
No, look, there was no fear. I'm going to guess that KJ and Kermit have had a conversation about the first technical and that won't happen again.
I do love getting the technical when you don't even hit the shot. Somebody else hits the shots and you get the technical.
And you're staring at the bench. Yeah, someone goes, those calls were BS. I don't think they were, because if they had been BS, I think Kermit would have been all over the refs. And Kermit was not all over the refs. Kermit was all over his guys.
He at the same time, though, I don't know that he didn't want to temper it down, though. He wanted them to stay up like that and stay edgy.
Play with emotion, but don't taunt.
Yeah.
Don't taunt.
And then Bruce looked right at the state bench and gave
I think he said something, too.
Did he?
I think so. And you can't.
It was a little chippy. It was a little fiery.
Weatherspoon wanted to fight Henson.
Did he?
And that's where I think Henson got in his head. Because I don't think Blake was looking for a fight. I just think Blake was playing basketball. I think Weatherspoon expected the freshman to defer to him a little bit, and Blake's not the deferential type.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I watch a lot of basketball. I love Henson's game. And nothing about it I don't like.
Picked Ole Miss over Mizzou. Is that right?
Yeah, Mizzou, Vandy.
Because Buffin's the MTSU kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like his game, too. I wrote about it in 10 Thoughts. A couple of my thoughts were dedicated to KJ Buffin. If he does what Kermit thinks he's going to do, which is get up to about 230, 233 in that range, keep his athleticism.
What's that now?
217. Look out. Kermit loves to run offense through forwards. Got two kids, those two kids a year from now. Look out. I love Henson's game. Flat out love it. If you told me Blake Henson as a junior or a senior, I'm not even going to go the senior route. I'm not sure he'll be here for a senior year. If you told me Blake Henson as a junior at Ole Miss as an SEC Player of the Year, legit candidate, I'm completely buying in.
Continue our conversation in a minute. First, tell you about Scripted Jewelry, scriptedjewelry.com. You got Valentine's Day coming up fairly soon. Go ahead and get out ahead of that. You can do that with Scripted Jewelry. You can give a piece that the significant other in your life would know to love, celebrating love, family members, and giving the best gifts. Put your handwriting, your script on a piece of jewelry. Put fingerprints, and much more. Just go to the website. See all the different possibilities. There's tons of them there with Scripted Jewelry. And remember, use the coupon code REBELS10, REBELS10, for 10% off. Again, that is scriptedjewelry.com.
Step into the new year in style. Experience the difference a quality sock makes. It's the first step in dressing for the job you want, not the job you have. Go to deadsoxy.com. Enter the code REBELGROVE at checkout. Receive 25% off all orders, including sale orders. We tell you about the socks all the time. They're fantastic. I've run into a lot of you who are now wearing them, and you swear by them just like I knew you would. They're made from bamboo. They stay cool. They stay up. They are fashionable. They look great. Now's a really good time. If you haven't tried them, go give it a shot. Go to deadsoxy.com. Enter code Rebel Grove at checkout. You get 25% off all orders from Dead Soxy. My post-game column on Saturday and this podcast are sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi, represents clients in 24 states, has advisors in 3 states. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective research and information, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust is going to sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. It's not the way cookie-cutter financial planners do it. It is what they do at Pinnacle Trust. I've seen it. You should check it out too. PinTrust.com, PINN Trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fee. Podcast also brought to you by the Westin Jackson. You can restore serenity to your soul at Soul Spa. It's the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. Indulge in personalized massages, signature facials, soothing body treatments, and much more on their extensive spa list. And then go check out Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. Sip on a creative craft cocktail or enjoy their curated wine list. You should also check out the steak frites. They're fantastic. It's open for lunch, breakfast, dinner, Sunday brunch, happy hour, a snack. Chef Caden's mission is to connect guests with the community through local partnerships, so gather at Estelle tonight.
Neil mentioned Pop-Up Oxford earlier. You can see the full calendar events at popupoxfordms.com. You get everything from songwriter competitions, community reading, Ole Miss basketball, Ole Miss women's basketball coming off a win over nationally ranked Kentucky yesterday in Lexington, hotel hop, MLK Day, service day, breakfast, Oxford Art Crawl, the Bitter and Bites that I have signed up for. That's January 22nd, the cocktail class and tasting, and much, much more. Again, see the full calendar events, what's going on in town, with visit oxfordms.com.
You did sign up?
I did sign up, yeah.
Did you sign me up?
I have not. Would you like me to sign you up?
Yes.
Okay. It's January 22nd, 6 to 8 at Smart Hall.
Okay.
Real quick, just it's the poll we'll use throughout the season, which makes this worth mentioning, even though I hate preseason polls. Ole Miss checking in at number 10 nationally in the D1 baseball top 25
so that means
morning.
They did not make it to Omaha. Damn it, fire Bianco right now. I'm sick of this crap.
Would give them their second Super Regional appearance since 2009, however.
That's frustrating.
Vanderbilt number 1, the little engine that could, that is the Commodores. They are number 1, full of young pitching.
Tim Corbin's leaving to go to state. You heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, it's all even apples and different things, so he was taking that job.
Mm-hmm.
LSU number 2.
Imagine that.
Texas Tech 3, Louisville 4, UCLA 5, Florida 6, North Carolina 7, Oregon State 8, Georgia 9, Ole Miss 10, East Carolina at 11. See them in a midweek game on a Wednesday at one point. State at 14, Arkansas at 16, Auburn at 22.
Just another year in the SEC.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. They're all ranked, something like that. Although I don't think Ole Miss plays Vanderbilt. Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, let me figure out who they don't play. But
I'm only the SEC. I'm only the Ole Miss beat.
Just the SEC tournament.
Just in Hoover. I go to Hoover.
Anything before that really doesn't.
I really don't cover the preseason.
Okay, so looking at that from a schedule standpoint, Ole Miss has a 2-game series at Louisville. They play Arkansas in Fayetteville in March.
Is that March?
Yes, it is March, the last week of March, 29th, 30th, 31.
Okay.
They play Florida in Oxford. That'll be a big weekend coming up. They play Kentucky at home. They play Auburn in Auburn. They play A&M in Oxford. I'm still looking. No Vanderbilt, no Georgia, no South Carolina. That's a good schedule.
That's a good draw.
That's pulling a schedule out right there, isn't it?
Look at the SEC protecting Ole Miss. How about that?
That's what this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey,
if you were going to get a draw, that's the one you'd ask for.
Yeah, because look, you don't want anything to do with Vanderbilt.
No.
You'd like to avoid Georgia because they're pretty good this time.
Yeah.
And then just because they get a little spunky, I don't want South Carolina. So, yeah, I'm all the way around. You got to feel pretty good about that one.
I mean, generally pleased if you're Ole Miss.
Get Tennessee and Mizzou.
I mean, you might have preferred playing.
Yeah, but let's not beggars and choosers and gift horses in the mouth and everything.
No,
so
you're generally pretty happy with that draw.
Yeah,
Mike probably did not make a call to the conference office to bitch.
They close the season on the road again. They close the season in Knoxville, Tennessee. So
worst places.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Just pointing that out.
You're going to play 15 at home, and you're going to play 15 on the road. Where you play them and when you play them, it really just doesn't matter.
Some of the home teams are going to be good. Some of the road teams are going to be good.
I mean, that whole
somebody's going to suck. I don't know who.
That's when people get worked up about having to start out the SEC season on the road or end it on the road or whatever. It's like, come on, man.
So I said the other day, it's a fascinating year because you don't have a lot of junior draft eligible arms in the SEC. This is a position player year in the SEC with a lot of those guys. I mean, the Cubs drafting the kid from Mizzou in the mock drafts early on. The outfielder, I'm losing my mind right now. Shoemake those in this. Baday's in this thing. Will Holland's in this thing. A lot of position players in the SEC. All the arms are young. The arms are freshmen and sophomores and upcoming. Next year is when it's going to be just a slew of SEC arms in the draft in 2020. So a lot of younger guys, a lot of kind of finding their niches, finding their roles in an evolving SEC this year, including Tracy Rocker's kid who ended up at Vanderbilt. He did show. Kumar throws like 99 miles an hour.
Oh,
yeah. Again, at Vanderbilt, it's
probably didn't have
tradition unlike any other.
Probably walked on.
Yeah, just it's okay. We'll pay for it. It's all good. 11.7 everywhere, guys. It's all the same thing. All right, let's see. That's that.
I'm not surprised that Tracy Rocker's kid's going to Vanderbilt. Not even a little.
No, I'm not either. I mean,
what I'm saying is Tracy Rocker's a guy that really values that kind of stuff. And
well, I mean, yeah, he was a signability risk because it was going to be a tough deal. Speaking of, I want to go to football in a minute, but we'll bridge it with this. What's your take on all this Kyler Murray stuff as we're following it the last day or so?
It's funny. Dan Wolken had a tweet that a bunch of people jumped.
Okay, what was it?
You have to go find it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, I got to pull it up. Let's see. Because actually, I can't believe I'm doing this twice. I'm sort of defending a Dan Wolken tweet. At first, I understood why people were. Let me find the tweet.
All right, real quick, setting this up. Yesterday or the day before, it's all running together. There was a source saying that Kyler Murray was going to instruct the A's that it was going to take $15 million for him to not enter the NFL draft, that he would ask for a contract worth $15 million to play baseball. Now, Susan Slusser, who covers the A's as well as anyone, last night, 12 hours ago, says source with knowledge of Kyler Murray says Murray has not made any monetary demands of the A's. The meeting was exploring ways to ensure his baseball future, but no dollar figure was presented by Murray or his reps. My initial thought is the truth is somewhere in the middle here as we move forward.
Yeah, I can't find the exact tweet, so it doesn't matter. But here's the nuts and bolts of it. Baseball needs Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray would walk into baseball as one of the most recognizable names in the sport. It's a pretty big problem for baseball. And it is a problem. Now, is it it's one of these things you have to put in context. It's kind of like the Alabama-Clemson playing for the national title game. The people that went, this is bad for the sport. No, it's not. The people that say, this is not as exciting as it should be. Now you're on to something.
Yeah, fair enough.
The people that say baseball needs stars, not to survive, for the love of God. They're making more money than they've ever made before.
Look, this is a more talented Tim Tebow situation is what this is. However, here are a couple different things in this. One, he's good. He's really good. They overpicked for a name. He's not eighth best good. He's good.
Right.
He's got tools, but it's projectable tools. It's not today. And see, that creates the problem, too, is you put him on a major league roster today, he's going to fail today. Might be good down the line, but today he is going to fail. So if you think about giving him this huge contract, you're doing all these things, he's still got to develop, or you still got to let him get through this stuff. It's a weird spot for the A's because it's not like we got Mike Trout that we're trying to figure out a way to market better, although they fail at that too every single day. Not the A's.
Here's where baseball has a problem.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance that this is the week that Manny Machado signs and Bryce Harper signs.
Yeah.
In the sports world, that story doesn't even resonate, Chase. You've got NFL playoffs, which are number one. It's not as big as NBA regular season.
Well, I'll tell you, I stumbled across the Bryce Harper news yesterday. You could put a gun to my head and give me 3 teams, and I would have to write a will and be scared to death to tell me where Manny Machado is signing. I have no idea. And I'm on the internet a lot.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
That's my point. For those who wonder, it's probably White Sox or Phillies.
Fair enough.
But that's my deal. 2 generational stars, and this is not breathless news.
So I'm saying 15
When
years
I was
ago,
a
I would have
kid-
known everything about even Alex Rodriguez when he's leaving the Rangers.
Well,
and
we
whatever.
did. It was breaking news.
Yeah.
People were hung up on every rumor. Alex Rodriguez visiting Boston today.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Rodriguez visiting whatever today.
I'll give you one. There's been more national news about where Jalen Hurts is headed.
I know.
A
Literally,
backup quarterback.
literally, college football's transfer portal is a bigger story than where Bryce Harper's going. Bryce Harper's a generational talent. So
This transfer portal, by the way, is great news for the mid-level Power 5 team.
absolutely is
Great news for the Ole Misses of the world as they try to get back up.
Ole Miss should be embracing the. Don't make fun of the transfer portal if you're an Ole Miss fan.
Look, if somebody's leaving you, they weren't playing for you anyway, and you can go snag the kid that's not playing for Alabama.
Yeah, the kids aren't upselling on this deal. They're not transferring from Ole Miss to go to Alabama.
Yeah, it's going the other way.
They're going the other way. These are the kids that they get to Alabama and they realize I kind of got lied to. And it's just a Dodge Charger.
By the way, are we just reloading, or are we throwing some deck chairs on the Titanic off in Tuscaloosa right now? Because they're losing the entire freaking staff. And I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle. But
Probably the middle.
I mean, dude, turnover the last 2 years has been essentially the entire staff.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the guy that hot takes it and goes.
No, I'm not going, it's over.
No, I know.
No,
I know you're not either. But I'm also not going to be the guy that goes, oh, everything's fine. I don't think everything's
One of the
fine.
reasons it ran, I mean, there's a lot, and I get that scandal and different things there at the end, but I mean, one of the real big anti-things with Pete Carroll all those years at USC was having to constantly recruit his own staff and try to figure that out. It was an extra element that, frankly, nobody had the time or the energy for.
If you told me that there were weak spots in the armor, I still got a pretty good suit of armor now. But if you told me there were some weak spots, I'd buy it. Coaches leaving there, getting out. He's getting older. Had this historically good team and couldn't finish the deal. The guy at Clemson, Sweeney, I think has. I think you can make the argument that Clemson has, at the very least, over the last 4 years, caught Alabama. The SEC's a booger bear right now. I don't know.
Back to the other thing real quick. If I'm the A's and it is $15 million, I'll let him walk. I'll let him walk.
Absolutely let him walk.
No way.
$15 million.
I'm not playing that game.
And then I'm gonna do this again. I watched not a lot of NFL because I couldn't. Saturday I was driving, and then Saturday night I watched Thunder and the Spurs, if I'm honest. And then yesterday I watched Rivers and Brady, and I watched Breeze and Foles. I didn't see any 5'9" dudes playing quarterback. Jared Goff's a big boy. Dak Prescott's a big
Your
boy.
only comparison is Breeze, and it's such a bad test
I'm not
case.
doing that. I'm not doing that to anybody because he has a historically accurate arm. By the way, I thought of you when he got called back on the holding call.
The Taysom Hill
touchdown pass.
It was a pretty throw.
I laughed my ass off.
It was a really pretty throw.
I was so happy when he completed that. I was like, I'm going to play with Chase tomorrow. And then I saw the flag, and I was like, damn it.
I'll tell you, though, I mean, Breeze, yeah, he's incredibly accurate, but he made that thing a game by having 2 incredibly underthrown balls on those deep balls where both times the wide receivers had separation, and it's a touchdown if he just throws the thing down the field.
Including one to Hill.
Yeah, Hill and Ginn early on the first play of the game.
Yeah. Well, how dare that son of a bitch be human?
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm
Saints
saying.
Saints fans picking apart Drew Brees cracks me up. You obnoxious sons of bitches. You deserve some rudimentary quarterback.
I deserve Teddy Bridgewater, don't
You
I?
absolutely deserve him. And when it happens, I'm going to giggle. Every time Teddy Bridgewater goes like 12 for 27 for 104 yards and 3
We
picks.
can't critique 9 at all, is what you're saying?
No, not really. Honest to God, no, you really can't. It's completely wrong.
You know, quickly not quickly, we got time. On the games this weekend, the Patriots kind of had that Alabama thing going where they beat the Chargers before either team ever stepped on the field. For an NFL game,
lost
it was
a
the
home
closest.
game this year.
No. Well, the Chargers have been really good on the road, too.
I do love how New England's trying to play the little engine that could card. That no one respects us.
Brady says no one expects us to win. It's like, well, hold on. Who the
Can you show me one citation of that, please?
I mean, that would be like Alabama getting up at the CFP and going, yeah, I mean, we're just trying to defy the odds here.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. Okay, great.
Just hoping for a miracle.
And then the Chiefs just rolled. Looked great. Frankly, they look better than maybe anybody else did all weekend.
Well, Mahomes is different. I was telling you about Blake Henson a minute ago.
Yeah.
I know we're jumping around.
Yeah,
here.
this is.
But Mahomes is that kid who he doesn't care. His dad was a professional baseball player. He's grown up around professional athletes.
He's just playing.
He's just playing ball. Football's fun. I don't think it's the end of the world one way or the other. They're really good. Like Travis Kelce's really good. They've got
a lot of
players
people
all
are going to
over the field.
throw things over 2 of these teams, and I get that. But I'm going to make the statement from a personal level here. The Patriots, for whatever reason, maybe it's their ability to win, even though they do cheat like as far as they can bend into the rules. Yeah. I find them pretty palatable. They don't bother me. I don't mind the Patriots winning for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they just don't. I don't necessarily cheer for them, but I kind of respect them to the point that I go, okay, fine.
Listen to Gladiator this week. It'll make you a Chiefs fan by Sunday.
Well, yeah, I get that. I understand that. But just in general, maybe the Patriots are the one exception.
Okay.
At least 3 of these teams, to me, are incredibly palatable. I feel like there's nobody left that I'm just kind of like, oh, if we can just not let them win, oh my God, whatever. A lot of that. Now, look, I've been a Saints fan since I was born. I get why they're hated. They are the pettiest football team in the NFL.
Well, Peyton is easily hateable.
Yeah, I mean, the people that go, hey, I really hate the Saints, I go, okay, I get it. I understand. I mean,
that's just Peyton.
I'll find a way to defend them.
I like him. He's funny.
I mean, they're wearing the mask last night, making fun of Philadelphia after the game. They played Meek Mill in the locker room, who's from Philadelphia and an Eagles fan. Like, they're petty.
Yes.
I mean, all week long, we're going to see who says something first, Marcus Peters or Sean Payton. They had it out during the Rams-Saints game back in the regular season. They'll see each other on Sunday. That's got a chance to get super chippy on Sunday afternoon with Saints and Rams.
I bet there's some sports bars in Atlanta on Sunday that are decked out in Jared Goff, Todd Gurley gear. The Georgia, the Falcons fan who's kind of a Georgia fan who goes, I can justify this Gurley jersey. I'm buying it. And when his wife goes, that jersey's $189. I really don't care.
He played at Georgia.
He played at Georgia, and you've never talked about. Shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. Yesterday was the one where I was nervous from about 10 a.m. on. I was a basket case all day yesterday. I was scared to death of Nick Foles.
Justifiable.
The Saints couldn't have looked worse through 20 minutes of that football game.
Look rusty.
Couldn't have looked worse. The pick, I mean, at one point the Eagles had 159 yards and the Saints had 0 at one point.
They didn't play for 3 weeks.
I was scared to death of 21-20 there late, which was fair. Lutz misses the kick because the Saints lose 3 or 4 yards on that third down play right before that.
And Alshon Jeffrey just ball goes through his hands.
Well, because everybody's criticizing the Eagles for rushing on the 2-minute warning, but the play was there. Catch the ball, and you're at the 20 with 2 minutes left, going in to score.
Shot.
I mean, they made the right call. I mean, Doug Peterson's a really good coach.
Yes,
he's really good. He's a great play caller. I mean,
he is a brilliant ULM mind. We produce pioneers. And Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl champ. And had Alshon Jeffries not dropped that ball, he might be a repeat Super Bowl champ. Let the record show that the play that the ULM grad drew up was a perfect call.
It was the Carolina wide receiver that made the mistake.
It was a receiver from South Carolina, which is a renowned poor academic institution. Did not make a play.
All four offenses are tops in the league that are still alive. Offense is dominating the NFL at this point.
You're kidding.
At least three of the best play callers are still alive with Reed, McVay, and Payton.
The league wanted offense. It's gotten offense. The rules are tilted towards the offense because that's what fans want to see. At the end of the day, it is about ratings and about tickets, and people don't want to see 10-7. They want to see 38.
And it's 1 versus 2 and 1 versus 2.
And we're going to get two really good games.
Both games open. Well, the Saints open -3.5. The Chiefs open -3, and both games have totals of 157. No, not 157. Sorry, 70 something.
I was going to say 157.
70
Give
something.
me some unders.
Or maybe it's 57. Maybe it's just 57 actually. That's an over at 57.
I think.
No, yesterday Saints. 34 yesterday.
Playoff games. Teams get a little conservative.
That's stupid. I don't know. I've seen a lot of basketball totals the last couple of days with all my basketball watching suddenly.
I think we're going to get two really good games. The game in Kansas City is going to be cold.
Thank God the Saints game is first. It's at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
2 Central?
Yeah. I think it's 2. It's 2 or 3. The AFC is the night game on Sunday. Whew. I mean, I could not have been happier about that. So
I'm going to be in the air for some of the Saints game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Unless we get snowed into Chicago. Saints, 2:05 Central Time.
Yeah.
And then the other game is a, let's see. Oh, they don't have it down there. Oh.
It's going to be like 6.
Here it is. 5:40 Central Time, Patriots at
So
Chiefs.
pretty much right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a hell of a game.
A few more football thoughts in a second. First, tell you about MasterCut, 662-607-7773. MasterCutsLawn.com to see all your different options. Just get that contract signed to let them take care of your lawn all year long. Everything from edging, weed eating, and just mowing to your flower beds, your landscaping. They'll do it all with MasterCuts. They'll build structures, and those structures include a custom playhouse for the little one, playground if you so desire for the child, simple forts, princess castles, pirate ships. They'll do whatever your child's imagination can to run wild again. Reach out and schedule a free meeting with MasterCut, 662-607-7773, or info@gomastercuts.com.
The podcast also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about that golf trip with the guys, the anniversary trip, she'll never forget, whether you're thinking about Florida, the Caribbean, whatever, this summer. Get in touch with John. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits simply not available to you and me and others who aren't part of Virtuoso. So what you do is you call John and you say, here's what I'm thinking about doing. Here's what I'm looking at. It's my budget. And then he'll give you some options. He'll do the research. He'll do the legwork. You just sit back and he'll give you some options. Then you have a decision to make. And you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. Grenada Nissan located just off Interstate 55 in Grenada, Mississippi. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one today. Tell Gene and Sandy that you heard about Grenada Nissan on the podcast. You heard about Grenada Nissan on rebelgrove.com, and you'll get Rebel savings on top of the already great deals at Grenada Nissan. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. And they also offer their customers Kasasa. It's the absolutely best cash checking account you can find. With Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. ATM fees nationwide are refunded. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more, go to liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Yeah, I was not a real pleasant person to be around 6:30 yesterday as that thing was winding down. My family had come back in, and I was completely lost. I could not help with anything. I could not do with anything. She asked me a couple times to do real rudimentary things around the house. I'm like, yeah, right now, I can't. Just stop. Leave me alone.
You think she'd get it by now?
No. She was like, it was...
This isn't
Carly
a
Ann needed something. There was like 2:30 to go in the game. Carly Ann needed something. She goes, "Hey, can you do that?" I'm like, "No, I cannot do that. Unless there is a medical emergency or something is on fire, and even then, I need to know what it is on fire. I can't move at the moment. No, I can't." And
that's what fire departments are for.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Put it out? So take the TV, put it out in the yard. We'll still follow the game. I've lost some of that edge, though. I expected for this week to be worse, but I think because it's the Rams and because I followed them all year with Dylan, I really
just
don't.
Monday.
I know, but I don't have an edge on this one. Look,
are you going soft?
I'm gonna want the Saints to win. Don't get me wrong. Let's keep this in context. But I do think there's this odd thing with the Rams where I'm gonna be okay if they lose on Sunday. It's all good. I'm telling you.
Would Dylan say the same? Would he be like, if it's not us, it's them?
He did pull for the Saints yesterday. He does find himself pulling for the Saints when it's not the Rams, even though, frankly, the Eagles would have been the much better matchup for his Rams.
You think?
It'd been in L.A., not New Orleans.
It might have been the difference between winning a Super Bowl or not.
And beat the Cowboys on Saturday was Dylan's first playoff win since 2004.
Okay.
He was like 10. The last time they won a playoff game. So, no, he's a little more edgy on needing this one. However, he also understands the Rams' window is much wider and longer than the Saints at this point. The Saints are finishing theirs. The Rams are just beginning theirs. But, hey, look, as a Saints fan, I understand when you get those opportunities, you better take advantage of them because that window can shrink on you in a hurry. You can't guarantee you're back in a year or two. It could take a minute. So... I don't know. And I was, until Kamara got that first down yesterday, I was still worried about the Minnesota thing coming back and re-energizing itself yesterday because Kara's like, hey, it's over, right? And I'm like, well, no, let me do some math. They're going to get the ball back with like 10 seconds left. I'm going to throw one right down the field. I'm scar tissue,
Kara,
man.
Kara, you got to do better.
Yeah. She's like, it's over, right? No, it's not over. There is time on the clock.
When those clocks hit zero and everybody's on the field with the photographers, it's over. Until then, it is not over. Stop.
Kicker missed the kick, and you went, oh.
Yeah,
ugh.
I thought about you.
Not only did they miss the kick, they're going to get the ball at midfield to start this puppy. Defense was outstanding, though. Now, they lose Sheldon Rankins with an Achilles. That's a huge
Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was an Achilles. Yeah. Huge blow against the two-headed monster of Gurley and Anderson with the Rams. They can really run it, so that's going to be a problem. But I think we're going to get a fun game. The Superdome might be that extra wild card that puts the Saints over the top. Frankly, I think the Rams are probably a little better team, but we'll see. It'll be a fun game on Sunday, and then I think both will be good. I'm excited for Chiefs-Patriots. However, my mood by 6 o'clock, who knows what that will be like, so I'm not sure that I can really fully appreciate that one by then. We mentioned Machado earlier, by the way. He has an 8-year offer from the White Sox.
$250 million, roughly. Is that the word?
Is that it? I don't know. I didn't click the link.
Supposedly, Philly's about to make a big offer to Harper.
Is he going to take it?
Knowing my luck, he'll take it like Thursday, right around the time we get to Chicago. And I'll have to listen to very frustrated Cub fan. The good news is Carson will be surrounded by other Cubs fans, and he can take it up with them. He can just talk Cubs to his heart's content, and I can just kind of finally drift off.
can be quite the gripe fest in Windy City this weekend.
Well, he can get he is not happy with Tom Ricketts right now.
Did you like all Peyton's fourth down calls yesterday? The fake punt and then going for it from the 1 yard line or 2 yard line down there?
Yes.
Both of them?
14-0, go for a touchdown.
Don't get the field goal, doesn't do anything for you?
Get a touchdown.
If you don't get it, they got to start from the 1.
You're there to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Win the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's not scared with play calling by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Now, he's still calling the game in a weird way that I don't necessarily like, but again, criticizing is a little weird at this point.
I think some of that is, he's going to do it his way, and some of that is it probably.
Taysom Hill was huge yesterday. I mean, all jokes aside, he was huge yesterday. He got open on the long throw from Breeze. He threw the ball on the other one. He had the fake punt that he ran. I mean, it still drives me crazy when anyone but Breeze takes a snap, but it did open up some things yesterday because of it.
Threw a beautiful touchdown pass. Now, it was a good holding call. It was a hold.
It was. That was a seed of a throw, though, wasn't it?
It was a hell of a throw.
It was harder than Breeze throws it. So you
when he
saw
dropped
it and you went,
back
"Ooh."
to throw, I was like, oh, man, Chase is pissed right now. And then the ball's perfect, and I was like, some bitch, look at that. And
it was a great
it was
throw.
coming back, and I was like, oh, man, that sucks.
It was a great throw.
Oh, it was perfect. You can't throw a ball any better. Physically impossible to throw a ball. But I will tell you what, Foles' first touchdown pass,
yeah.
he dropped that one in there now. That is a hell of a throw.
The safety made a really bad play, but yeah.
He did, but the throw was perfect.
Foles is good. I mean,
shoot. If I'm Philly, I got to think twice.
What are you doing? Are you really going to give him away?
You know what? Here's what I do. I very quietly, if that's possible, find out what the trade market for Carson Wentz is. That's what I do. Now, I'm careful there because Carson Wentz could go win 3 Super Bowls. He's got all sorts of talent. But I quietly...
You've got a guy that plays well in the playoffs.
I quietly find out what the trade market for Carson Wentz is. There's lots of teams in the NFL that could use a quarterback. I mean, don't you think if you kind of let the word out, hey, we're listening on Carson Wentz, think Jacksonville might call? The Giants?
I actually kind of like how the defense sets up. I kind of wish the Saints would make a call for Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Give Breeze that really premier wide receiver in the last year or two of his career. Now, Michael Thomas was excellent yesterday.
Breeze is only 40. 10, 15 years left.
Yeah. Except Brady says he could play to 45 or whatever it is.
Looked good yesterday.
But, I mean, the Saints throwing touchdown passes in the playoffs to Kirkwood. Could use another receiver out there.
Big-time play he made.
Yeah.
With his feet
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah. The NFL game is so good. So good. It's just such an elite game. Give the league credit, man. They play high-level football. They have taken the headshots out of the game for the most part. They have legislated it out. They've punished it out. They have fined it out. The league's, it's a fun product, and they've put points on the board. People want points.
Saints draw ratings really well, but what's the Iowa guy? Who's he rooting for Sunday? What's his interest Sunday? I know he doesn't really care, but who's he kind of pulling for?
Oh, he's pulling for the Chiefs.
Midwest
Mahomes
team.
is a great story.
And not Patriots.
Yeah. I think there's some Patriot fatigue.
Yeah.
I think if you offered the networks the Chiefs versus either one of these teams, they're in.
Rams or Saints.
But Chiefs-Saints is probably the game they want because they could actually, and I know you've teased this earlier, you're right. They could almost tease it as good versus evil. You'd get the 2 quarterbacks.
One going out, one coming in.
Peyton versus Andy Reid. Cinderella versus the unstoppable force. Saints in Atlanta.
I'm not real comfortable with this whole favorite thing. I'm like, that's what's funny. Like I was talking about, hey, well, Dylan hadn't had playoffs. I'm like, hang on, I'm a Saints fan taking pity on a franchise? I mean, what?
Changes fast.
Good grief.
But I think that's what everybody wants. It's the game I want to see.
You want Saints Chiefs?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just Monday. I think we're getting Saints Patriots.
I'd buy that. And if you told me I get Drew Brees versus Tom Brady, Saints, Patriots in Atlanta.
See, I keep forgetting the Super Bowl's in Atlanta.
One kind of last shot, because it feels like this is the end for New England. We feel like we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors are Gronkowski's going to retire. I don't know that Tom Brady can do this at this level how many more years. I just don't know. I'm beginning to have my doubts. I think we're getting Chiefs-Saints.
Do you?
I think Mahomes is too much right now.
The two guys that have been 1-2 in the MVP race all year.
Yeah. Mahomes is really good. I think we're getting – but I'd buy it. I mean, if you told me we're getting Patriots-Rams, I believe it. I mean –
yeah, any of them's fine. Whatever.
I mean, the Rams when Gurley's healthy, the Rams are really good.
Had this here. We'll close with this. The odds to get specific winners in the Super Bowl, the favorite is the Chiefs to win it. So the current line is 4-1 Chiefs over Saints, 5-1 Chiefs versus Rams. Actually, they like both AFC teams. 6-1 Patriots over Saints, 7-1 Patriots versus Rams. You can get Saints over Chiefs at 7-2. You can get Saints over Patriots at 11-2, so 5.5 to 1. You get Rams over Chiefs at 5-1, and then Rams over Patriots at 7-1. If you just want some individual lines there, but that's where that's at. Back tomorrow with more. We'll have some guests throughout the week, as always, here on the podcast. And check rebelgrove.com in the meantime. Talk to you then.